This is the YMCA, where hundreds of children spend their summer afternoons in child care camps. This is the YMCA where my little sister took gymnastics lessons. The locker room is supposed to be her safe haven to gossip with her friends and shower and change. When I asked the YMCA management what their policy was regarding transgenders, they confirmed that the man that I saw was indeed allowed to shower wherever he pleased.
Now, the YMCA of San Diego County has since issued a statement on the incident to KUSI News saying, quote, "We're aware of the situation involving two members in the locker room of the SanDi YMCA earlier this month. The comfort and safety of all our members is our highest priority." Clearly not. We recognize that birth and gender identity are sensitive.
Music by Edvard Grieg, his old Norwegian romance with variations, Opus 51, in a recording by the Iceland Symphony Orchestra under Poli-Sci. I'm Laura Downs, and this is Evening Music from Classical California.
Our goal is to ensure everyone has access to additional privacy if desired and needed. The YMCA does not care about women's safety. They've proven it, and they proved it in August of 2022, last year, after they banned an 80-year-old woman in Washington from her local YMCA pool because she spoke out about a man in the women's locker room. The woman said that she saw a man in a woman's bathing suit watching maybe 4 or 5 little girls pulling down their suits to use the toilet. She asked if the man had male genitalia, and he said it was none of her business, and she told him to leave. As a result, the woman was banned. Banned from the YMCA. What an upside-down world we live in. Terry Schilling joins me now to discuss this from the American Principles Project. Terry, I'm going to ask you, as a father, how did you feel if your minor daughter complained about a man showering next to her, or showering next to her, and then the employees told her to just bug off and stop whining about it?
Well, there would be a lot of things that would happen there, and that guy wouldn't be coming into my daughter's locker room anymore. He'd get some stern words from me and some civil lawsuits. And ultimately, Addison, this is what transgenderism and their agenda looks like, right? Everyone is going to be made to feel welcome, except for you. Except for the normal people who want to live their lives, the women that want to have privacy away from men, right? Like, what everyone's forgetting is that women's private spaces were a major accomplishment of the first wave feminist leaders, right? Before that, women couldn't go to work because they didn't have their own private bathrooms and private facilities. They didn't want to be around men while they were doing that. They were decent. And now this regime, this anti-human, anti-woman, transgenderism regime is pushing this insanity on not just adult women, but minor children. No one should be exposed to this stuff. You have a right to privacy, especially if you're a woman. And this is just more egregious cultural takeovers from the left, and we need to fight back against it.
Yeah, we really have come full circle. You bring up a great point. We're a far stretch, a far cry from what feminism used to be, which is about equal rights for women. And no one has a problem with equal rights for women except for these lunatics who are insisting that women should not be allowed to have their own restroom, that some old creep can go in, this grown man, and shower next to a 17-year-old girl and watch 8, 9, 10-year-old girls pull down their bathing suit to go to the bathroom. That is not equality for women. It's a complete digression of where we've come as a society, Terry.
No, that's exactly right. And the same group, the same movement of people would call lesbian women bigoted, lesbian women transphobic for not wanting to sleep with a trans-identifying male who says he's a woman because, obviously he's a woman, and they're just bigoted. That's the only reason they want to sleep. They're not into dudes, right? These are people that are not normal, right? They need help. They need serious psychiatric help. And instead of giving them the help that they need, the help that they deserve, of loving their bodies, accepting their bodies for who they are and who they were made from the beginning, the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industries are profiting off of these people. They're exploiting them, these vulnerable people, for profit, and it just creates more and more victims.
you know, if the LGBT alphabet army ever comes at me and calls me transphobic because I'm not attracted to trans women, then I guess my only answer is sure. Yeah, I'm a huge transphobe. I guess that's the only justification I'd be able to give. Terry Schilling from the American Principles Project, great to have you on to discuss this. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Addison.
Well, we have yet another example of a man creeping in a woman's restroom. That would be a man named Paul Bixler. He's a so-called transgender woman and board member of Liberty Elementary School District in Arizona. He was reportedly just seen going inside a women's locker room at a local gym. A friend of this show, Lindsey Graham, says that this male came into the locker room while she was changing and stared at her bare chest. She recorded the confrontation afterwards. Take a look.
I am at the gym in Arizona. I was undressing in the locker room. Top off, bra off, and Paul Bixler was in the women's locker room. And he looked at me, and he looked at my breasts, and I have called the police. So recently, he's used the men's locker room. So he agrees himself that he's a man. I have told the police that I was in the locker room. A man was in there. I was getting undressed. He looked at me. He is a man in the women's locker room. And the response is that this is a touchy, sensitive issue in society. Yep, there he goes, women's locker room. There's the man going in the women's locker room. Hope there's no one undressing in there. Hope there's no naked women in there. There's a man, why is anyone warning the women? Just so everyone knows, he's not being arrested. We are at a point where we're catering to society instead of facts. This is alarming. Women's rights are being violated. And I'm not gonna put with it. So Paul, if you're a female, why do you use the men's restroom sometimes and the women's restroom sometimes?
Please stay away from this. Yes, gladly, like I said.
He will suffer no consequences for this.
Look just like a chick, right? Lindsey Graham is the woman in that video. She joins me now to discuss this further. Lindsey, thank you so much for being here. You said in that video, I just want to make sure I have that right, he uses both bathrooms. This man uses the men's bathroom when he feels like it and the women's bathroom when he feels like it.
All right, I had enough of this shit.